these draw fronts will be covered with half rounds. You can buy half rounds already made at big box stores. I decided to make my own. I went with half-inch rounds. So I planed the boards down to half-inch thick and used a 1/4-inch round over bit on both faces of the board at the router table. Now that edge can be ripped a 1/4 inch away from the edge to make the half-inch half round. I figured the safest way to cut this strip would be at the bandsaw, so that's what I did. Before proceeding with the next half round, I did a quick pass of the jointer to make a super flat edge and repeated the process. I needed a total of about 160 half rounds, but at this point I left the pieces about double in length, so this process needed to be repeated about 80 times. I felt like I had a really good flow going and moving around my shop and everything was going smoothly until my bandsaw blade snapped. Silly me, I didn't have any replacement blades that fit this bandsaw, so I had to resort to the table saw to make this cut. To make sure it was a safe process, I used a push stick that has a lip at the back that also pushes the thin cutoff past the blade. My bandsaw blade breaking was, I guess, a blessing in disguise because this process was even quicker. It took a third tool out of the equation, and I didn't have to take more than 2 steps between each pass. So cutting all 80 of these actually went by pretty quickly. The thought of sanding and finishing all 80 plus of these half rounds was not something I was looking forward to do, so I figured it would be easier and more efficient if I double side taped them to a plank all at once, and I could get around all the edges really easily with this profile sander. Even though doing it this way was pretty efficient, it was still a lot of work, and I can move on to finishing them. These half rounds will be glued to the draw faces later. In order for them to stick, I don't want finish on the back,